I'm Jeff Bishop.
And I'm Ruth Travis.
We're with Clean Care Seminars, and we're the instructors for the Rug Cleaning Technician course. We want to invite you to join us today for a brief overview of rug cleaning procedures and the plant layout so that you too can join in on the highly profitable field of rug cleaning.
All right, Jeff, let's tell everybody how we set up a basic rug cleaning operation.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. The whole idea is to make sure that the progression of the work flows uniformly from one station to the next. And we're going to start here, naturally, with the inspection area. You need about 200 square feet so that we can lay rugs out and inspect them very carefully.
Okay, then what?
Well, the next step is dry soil removal, so let's step right over here.
All right.
All right, Ruth, flowing directly from our inspection area is our dry soil removal area using vacuuming, air mover dusting, or specialized dusting equipment.
All right, and then what's next?
Well, it depends on what the problem with the rug is. If it's just soil, we'll go directly into our rug bath, or if the rug is contaminated, we'll have to go through decontamination first. So let's step over here and talk about that a little bit.
All right.
This area is 5 by 8 so that we can fold over and handle a rug that's up to 8 by 10. The appropriate product is mixed up, placed on the rug. We fill it up with water, let it circulate so that we can get full animal urine decontamination along with the odor that's involved. From there, we simply rotate the rug and bring it over into the rug bath itself.
All right, let's talk about some of the things that you put together to make this rug bath work.
All right, let's take a look at the individual components. First thing I want to talk about, Ruth, here is the platform that we've installed inside the rug bath. I suppose you remember how long and hard we searched to find the perfect tiles.
Right, and why are they so important?
Well, you've got to be able to get the water to flow all the way through the tile along with the suspended soil and bring it down to our discharge pump at the end of the rug bath. Next, we have to have a way to bring the water into the rug bath, and that's where our distribution bar comes in. This extends a complete 10 feet across the width of the platform, and it brings water in uniformly so that as the soil is suspended, it's placed in the laminar water flow that goes all the way to the discharge pump on the other end of the rug bath.
Well, Jeff, that looks like a pretty elaborate wand there. Tell me about the historical perspective.
Well, I suppose you remember the first course we did about 4 or 5 years ago. We tried to use a squeegee to get the soil out of the rugs, and it just simply took forever. That's when we went back to the drawing boards, and over supper, I think on a napkin one night, we designed this wand that gives us a laminar flow of water all the way through the rug. It has sufficient weight that it gives us the pressure for squeegee action on the surface, and it gives us sufficient pressure so that as we move back and forth over the rug, we're able to force the water all the way through it, carrying the soil underneath the tiles with the laminar water flow all the way to our discharge pump.
All right, I see you have some white tiles here. What are those for?
Well, these white tiles on the side, if you recall, we used to have just black tiles only, and it was very difficult to see when the soil had been completely removed from the rugs, or even worse, if they were transferring dye somehow. So by putting the marker tiles on the side, we can do our final cleaning across them to make sure that, number one, that they are clean, and secondly, that they're not bleeding. Very, very important component of the overall rug bath.
All right, now you've flushed all that soil out of the rug. What happens next?
Well, we got to get rid of it, of course, and that's what our pumping system is for. Actually, the pump does two things for us. When I open this valve here and turn the pump on, I get recirculation within the rug bath itself. The water is going to flow around completely, and with a very heavily soiled rug, I can literally leave it in here with the water circulating just like a washing machine literally overnight. That softens up the soil, gets it suspended, and then when I come back in the next morning and flush it out, or maybe just a few hours later, then all of that water, all of that soil just falls out of the rug, and it gives you a level of cleaning that we just cannot achieve with on-location cleaning techniques. Now, the second valve that I have on the pump enables me to simply discharge the water as the rug is being cleaned, all of that soil is being suspended. We've got the water coming into one end of the rug bath and it's going out the other end and going to a drain that is connected to a sanitary sewer system so that we can discharge the water safely and legally. The basic rug bath kit that we recommend to people is a 400 square foot liner with a 12 by 16 foot frame. Our frame is made of PVC so the sides won't be collapsing and it won't create problems for us flooding our entire operation a little bit later on. Inside the 12 by 16 frame is the 11 by 15 platform on which we do the actual cleaning and flush the soil all the way through the rug. This is important because the largest rug that you're likely to encounter is going to be somewhere around 11 by 14. So it gives us the ability to clean almost any size rug. Of course, if it gets larger than that, we simply turn the rug sideways and clean it in two separate sections. All right?
You flushed out the rug, now what? We've got to take it over here and do what with it?
Next comes the removal of the excess water using either a standard carpet cleaning wand. This is primarily for the flat weaves that are easy to extract. Those that are a little more difficult to extract, I've got an old drag tool here, but I can hook it up to a good quality extraction unit such as this dual motor vacuum and dual pump off unit here that discharges the water I'm extracting back into my sanitary sewer using this drag tool. Worst comes to worst, for a really thick rug, I'm able to use my water cloth. Simply place it on the back of the real thick rugs.
Like a Chinese or a Karastan?
Chinese or Karastan are great examples of that, and I can pull the water out from the backside and do a much more thorough extraction.
All right, we've extracted the water, now what? We got to do something to get it dry.
That's right, and we have two options here, Ruth. Number one, we can use the drying tower that I have behind me to place the rugs on top of it. We have the ability to hang approximately 25 rugs in only an 8, maybe 10 foot by 12 foot area here. All right, for problem rugs, we have another option, so let's take a look at it.
All right. All right, you were talking about problem rugs. What would those be?
Well, primarily it's going to be those rugs that are subject to cellulosic browning or to dye migration, which is the worst problem that any rug cleaner can have. The air table that you and I finally had to design for ourselves consists of some 6-inch grids that we've put on 3/4-inch plywood, marine grade plywood, and it's on a frame that's made of 2 by 6 by 12 support members. All right, we have holes that are drilled in it so that we can get air underneath the air table and literally float our rugs on about a 6-inch cushion of air, but we can also use it as a blocking platform for rugs that are rippled or have corners that are curled. We can simply block it in place, which we demonstrate in the course but won't be demonstrating in our videotape here. But anyway, we can block them in place, stretch them out a little bit, and then dry them on the air table, and when they are dried, they will lie flat once again. Secondly, for those rugs subject to severe cellulosic browning or to severe bleeding, when we put them on the air table and dry them face down, as I'll be doing here, we simply lay them out and then turn on our air movers, and we can levitate them on a cushion of air so that any cellulosic browning or any dye migration goes to the back of the rug and it doesn't line up on the face.
All right, every cleaner's nightmare is the fringe. You know that.
Well, it shouldn't be. There are two problems that can take place with fringe, either severe cellulosic browning or the worst problem is dye migration, of course, and we have solutions for all of those. This is our fringe cleaning operation. It's nothing more than an 8-foot long plastic table, which you can purchase just about any office supply, Walmart, places like that. And we use it to final process the fringe. We'll inspect the fringe very carefully, and then using appropriate treatments, we'll go through the browning correction or the dye migration correction before we final inspect the rug that we've cleaned, go through the rolling and wrapping process, and get ready for a customer to pick it up or to deliver it back to the customer's home.